too many of us are afraid to go for the things we want. We overthink everything. We overthink the amount of attention people are paying to us all of the time. Deciding not to be nice is not as brutal as it seems. It's not as antisocial as it sounds when you first hear it. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I've just had this come up in my life. Again, even though I talk about this all the time, this still comes up for me a lot because we are socially conditioned to be nice. As children, we are told if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Or, Santa is going to know whether or not you've been naughty or nice. I mean, naughty is not the opposite of nice for a start. So we need to rewire some of these things because they get entrenched in our monkey mind and they inform the way we feel about ourselves and the way we feel about thoughts that we have. So this has come about for me today because I've been away for a few days, been down in Brighton with my son. It's been great, had a really nice time. We've come back and I was supposed to go to Cornwall today. Now, I was being ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I was being ridiculous. I have a week's worth of work to do in one day. I'm super late making this video. I normally make this video at like 11 in the morning and it's about 8 o'clock at night. And I'm sat doing some journaling on my Remarkable pad and thinking about the things that have happened today. And one of the things that really threw me was I needed to cancel going to Cornwall. I was supposed to go to Cornwall this evening until Monday. And it was a ridiculous thing that I'd planned. There's not enough hours in the day. My ADHD brain had rammed in way too many things. And I got it wrong. I got back, I was exhausted, had too much work to do. I have a really important meeting on Tuesday morning that I need to be here for. And I needed to cancel the trip, is basically what it came down to. Now, I really care about the person that I was going with, and I was so excited to make the memories with her and to have this beautiful time being away with the sand in our feet and just making memories, being ourselves, relaxing, chilling, being away from the grind, having an adventure. And I was really concerned to let her down, is what it came down to. I didn't want to say we couldn't go, and that span me out. And it gave me a complete meltdown. At one point this morning, I'm not going to lie to you, I literally was in meltdown to the point where I felt so bad about myself for just not being able to go that I couldn't get the work done that I needed to get done. And I felt just super guilty, I suppose. And one of the reasons for that is we have this hardwired inner critic. Now, everybody has this. It's something that we have to stop us from repeating mistakes that are going to get us killed, back from our primal brain that we don't need anymore. But it now impacts us in different ways. And if you've had any level of trauma, this will be something that is a much bigger part of your life, or maybe you're more aware of it, maybe you're not aware of it, and this is the video that will make you become aware of it. But we have an inner narrative, an inner monologue, and there is a part of our brain that will constantly remind us of all the things we did wrong, all the things that we've done wrong in the past, and will accumulate it and kind of catastrophize it. And it's really unhealthy. At one point in our evolution, would have been a helpful thing. It's not a helpful thing now. It's something we need to be aware of and shut it down. And that's what I had to become aware of today. And just thinking about my own advice, my thinking when I was having my meltdown is that if I cancel this trip, I'm not being nice. And I'm a nice person. I identify as a nice, kind, compassionate person to myself. My sense of who I am is someone who is kind. And my inner critic jumped all over that and told me I was wrong. And if I cancel, it's not a very nice thing to do. Now, it was all very subtle. It was all in the back of my mind. And it was really only when I was kind of not really able to focus and feeling really guilty that I had to dig a little deeper and find out what was going on. There is something to be said for deciding to not be nice. Breaking out of this niceness trap is a conscious decision that you need to make because it allows you to then put in place boundaries. And it doesn't mean being unkind. Not being nice doesn't mean you have to be rude to people, mean to people. You can even still take on board other people's feelings. You can still be compassionate when you are asserting your boundaries. But if you are still adhering to this label of being nice, you are not going to get anywhere with putting yourself first and putting your needs first. It's very difficult to be our authentic self when we are judging ourselves by whether or not we are being nice. Now, what I mean by that is you may have a ton of beliefs that have come from your parents, and maybe you don't challenge their core values and you don't tell them that actually they're not your shared values because you don't want them to judge you. You don't want them to feel like you haven't followed in their footsteps. You don't want them to judge themselves on their values either. But actually, things like this don't allow us to actually stand in our authentic self. And that's very important for a sense of wholeness, which is what we're all looking for, right? We're all looking to have integrity and to be authentically who we are. Too many of us are afraid to go for the things we want. We overthink everything. We overthink the amount of attention people are paying to us all of the time. We overthink the impact our decisions are going to have on other people. And also, we don't demonstrate our own kindness to ourselves if we don't stand up for the things that we want. If you don't go for the things that you want, if you don't stand up and say, I do want this, I don't want that, I'm not prepared to do this, I'm going to do this. If you're not assertive, then you're not standing in your own frame. You know, list all the things that you can do that will make you more authentically you in a day, and then start doing them. And then work through the internal backlash afterwards, the emotional backlash. After you do these things that are seemingly not nice to you, you might feel guilty, but that is social conditioning. And the only way to learn a new pattern and a new way of being is to actually do it. And that can be scary and that can feel uncomfortable. But I just really encourage you to make a conscious effort to go for what you want, tell people what you need, and not be afraid to do that. I'm not a perfect person. I'm just a human being like anybody else, trying to evolve, trying to grow, trying to raise my vibration, trying to communicate in a better way, trying to live my life in a better way. And I come up against these things all the time, and this is my life. You know, I'm a coach. I talk about these things all the time. I learn about all these things all the time. I'm doing professional development in this all the time. This is literally my life. And I still find I have days like today where I get lost in being too nice and then not putting my needs first, which I actually did. I have actually cancelled the trip, obviously, because it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm still here and I'm making this video right now. But it was difficult for me to do. This is just a little friendly reminder, really, that we're all human. We're all going through the same things. We're all on a journey. And be nice to yourself. That is your priority. And on that note, guys, I am going to finish making my dinner. It's super late. I'm going to go sit and edit this video. I'm going to put it out. Then I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to light a candle. Maybe I'll light the fire, actually, because it's pretty chilly. So this is my note to self, to you, to go do something kind for yourself. As always, have the best day.